whatever you deliver, we have no words to describe. Ladies and gentlemen, we will have questions, first from non-Muslims and then from Muslims. Before that, I would like to announce that the books and some CDs from Dr. Sahib are on sale outside the hall for a small price. So those who desire to purchase them can go outside the hall and purchase them after the event. Now we will have question and answers. Before I invite the first question, I would like to just request three things. First, the question should be related to the topic. Second, please make it short so we can take as many questions as possible. Third, once you ask a question, please wait for the answer, don't counter question, because that will take away time and not give others a chance to ask a question. So I would like to ask first our non-Muslim brothers who are here, if they would like to answer, please come over here. I will give you a mic. You can ask the question on the mic. Please come over here or nearest to you, the edge of the stage which is nearest to you. So, yes, here's a mic here. So the gentleman who want to ask a question, lady or a gentleman, first non-Muslims, then Muslims. Is there any non-Muslim who would like to answer? Non-Muslim brother, can you please raise your hand if you would like to ask a question? So I will know there is a non-Muslim brother who would like to ask a question. Yes, somebody coming? No. Okay. Any non-Muslim brother or a sister who would like to ask a question? No. Let us come to our Muslim brothers. Any question? Yes. Please take the mic from this gentleman. Come here so we can show. You can, if you like, you can announce your name and then your question.
My name is. So, my question is, in the belief of Sufism, there is a word that is Wahdatul Wujud, which means Allah is in everyone. So, can you please define?
The word Sufism is an invented term. So is the word Salafism. So is the word Aqidah. It's an invented word, does not exist in the book or Sunnah. So is the word Nahw and Sarf. So is the word Usul Fiqh. So is the word fiqh in the way we understand it today. Those are all mustalahat, ولا مشاحة بالاصطلاح, regardless. So, no, I don't insist. I insist only on that which is in the book and the Sunnah, on the Sahih of the Sunnah. That's what I insist on. So, first I have to define, and we have to define what the word tasawwuf means before you attach to it anything else. Because the way I understand the word, the invented word tasawwuf, is to be consistent with the Quranic and Sunnah term of ihsan. So now to take it further, to answer your question, the way, again, Wahdatul Wujud is an invented word, so I don't have to accept anything that's invented per se. But from what I understood from those who mentioned Wahdatul Wujud, it's not that Allah is in people. That's called tajseem or anthropomorphism, which is a clear blasphemy in Islam. That someone says Allah dwells in the skies, or Allah dwells in part of the heavens, or Allah dwells in part of the creation, be it a human being or anything else. Well, therefore, من قال بالحلول فعقله معلول. Whoever says hulul, there's no aql. Right? That's one. But what I understood from those who mentioned this concept, and these things are dhawqi maqamat, these things are experiential things, they said with Wahdatul Wujud is that they only see the one that truly exists is Allah, and nothing else existed. Nothing else exists. And in the meaning of yani, the true existence, the one who only exists because of himself is Allah. Everything else, all the creation exists not because of themselves. They exist because Allah wills for them to exist. So they say that means al-wujud al-haqiqi, the true wujud is only the wujud of Allah. Everyone else's wujud is not really real per se, in the sense of it's relative, in the sense that you don't exist because of your own sovereign will. Nothing else does except Allah. So that's how I look at it if I was to even entertain that philosophical concept. Barakallahu feek.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I once again request that the question should be related to the topic of today, that is, Islam is a religion of peace, not terror. Please don't ask questions which are unrelated to this topic, because there are some questions people have given to me for whatever reasons, I don't know, probably they like me very much. They did not want to.
Rahmatullahi wa barakatuh to Shyakh. I just want to ask a question according to the Sufis and Indian Sufis mainly, and also according to Maulana Rumi, Rahmatullahi. The core aim behind the teachings of Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam is humanity. And if a person adapts that teaching and does the deeds according to that teachings and doesn't take the Shahada, is he on the Muhammadan path?
In the books of fiqh, obviously, you will find the conditions of accountability or taklif. The prerequisites for taklif is, number 1, puberty, number 2, sane, number 3, having the senses, number 4, having heard the da'wah of Islam. Someone who fulfills these conditions becomes accountable in the eyes of the fuqaha, the jurists. So someone who did not hear this does not become accountable, as simple as that.
Yes, thanks.
Yeah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My name is Muhammad Ali, and Alhamdulillah, you gave a very spiritual lecture on this terrorism and peace. Islam is no doubt a religion of peace, but I don't understand how the peace will prevail unless the corruption and autocracy will be suppressed. Unless these things happen, then only peace will prevail. Because when you study the seerah of Prophet, many things, corruption was abolished, then only the peace was prevailing. For example, when one Muslim lady was in a market and one Jew made a mischief of her, then the Prophet punished the whole tribes of the Jews and they pushed them out of Medina. So corruption has to be abolished to prevent the peace. And a lot of battle and Sharia was taken place in order to do this. Then only the peace prevailed.
So we have a question. Is there a question?
Yes, of course.
Yeah, please ask the question.
Unless the peace should be prevail after corruption and autocracy is crushed, then only the peace will be prevail.
So that's your observation, sir.
No,
that
Is a strong word to mean what? What's the objective of the message? To crush people or to guide them?
No. Crush the corruption, not the people.
Okay. So legislate law for corruption, yeah.
Yes.
For fasad, yeah,
Yes.
sure. Nobody disagrees, done.
One a Muslim community, if something is happening to them, it's like a body, human body. If something happens to one Muslim, people will have to come forward and
Done.
crush.
Nobody disagrees on that.
That is where the peace will prevail.
That's an agreed upon rule.
Yes.
No disagreement.
That's the point.
next question, please.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Shyakh, I have a question. Somebody called to our youth to terrorism and they give the legal desire from certain desire. وكتبنا عليهم فيها أن النفس بالنفس والعين بالعين. Can you explain about this?
The hudud are, or practicing the criminal justice system, manuta, is a job of an Islamic system that exists, a just, adil, Islamic system that establishes it, not in the hands of people. Because the people may not know what justice is to start with, they may not know what Islam is collectively to start with. You don't take the law into your own hands.
Next, please.
Assalamu alaikum ya Sayyidi. I want to ask a question about وَلَا تَمُوتُنَّ إِلَّا وَأَنْتُمْ مُسْلِمُونَ. What's the meaning in Tafsir Ibn Abbas? وَلَا تَمُوتُنَّ إِلَّا وَأَنْتُمْ مُسْلِمُونَ.
So I don't go into different tafsir of this.
But I want to ask a question with Tafsir Abbas in Tafsir Abbas.
Is it related to?
So the general meaning of the ayah, obviously, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, just like He said in the Quran, إِنَّ الدِّينَ عِنْدَ اللَّهِ الْإِسْلَامِ وَمَنْ يَبْتَغِي غَيْرَ الْإِسْلَامِ دِينًا فَلَنْ يُقْبَلَ مِنْهُ وَهُوَ فِي الْآخِرَةِ مِنَ الْخَاسِرِينَ. Similarly also, الآية وَلَا تَمُوتُنَّ إِلَّا وَأَنْتُمْ مُسْلِمُونَ. هذا قول سيدنا يعقوب عليه السلام to his children. So, and Sayyidina Yaqub's telling them that they should not be on dying except on the deen of Islam. That's basically the concept. I mean, we can go on to different dimensions, but that's not appropriate.
Next, please.
During horrifying acts, in the background they're using phrases of Quran, and also while slaughtering people, doing act of terrorism, they're using terms like Allahu Akbar. So I want Shaykh to guide us in regards to this. Thank you.
Yes, I mean, the point, Akhi, is very simple. That the call to violence must be questioned a million times, not just one time. Somebody who calls you to violence or hate, you gotta question him a million times. It doesn't matter what people say. Slogans don't matter. Slogans don't matter. What people assume, that doesn't matter. What matters is the essence of call. So definitely, I mean, I would like to warn you from violence in general. Regardless who calls you, regardless who his name is, regardless what he is.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Abdul Basit Mirza Bey. My question to you is, who are Khawarij? Is it? I have heard in many places that the ISIS and Al-Qaeda people belong to the Khawarij tribe, and also the family of the South. So I just wanted to know who are Khawarij. Khawarij.
Yeah. Allah knows, inshallah. I don't know.
Because the prophet from the Banu Tamim, I wanted to know the people from the Najd area. There was a Hadith in Bukhari Sharif.
Yeah.
Najd area.
There are many people in Najd that are good people.
In Najd area there was a.
Do you want me to let you answer, or you want to answer?
I want to answer.
Alright. So this blanket issuing of people, we don't do in Islam. There are people in Najd who are good people, and there are people in Najd who are not good people. There are people in India who are good people, and there are people in India who are not good people. So this blanket thing that we say everybody in Najd is not good, that's not Islamic. Obviously, it's not correct, and it's not fair either. Now, surely Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, the authentic hadith, mentioned that al-fitna will come from there. But that doesn't mean every single person in Najd is fasiq or mushrik or people of bid'ah. That's blanket, that's too simplistic. Islam only judges people based on their own individual acts. That's one. And there's the good, the bad, and the ugly everywhere. Mere affiliation to something doesn't necessarily make you that something. Alright? Now, Khawarij are those, obviously, and Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam mentioned in the authentic hadith, as you know, يَمْرِقُونَ مِنَ الدِّينِ كَمَا تَمْرِقُ السَّهْمُ كَمَا يَمْرِقُ السَّهْمُ مِنَ الرَّمِيَّةِ. They'll exit the deen just like the arrow exits its target. So anyone who fulfills this, the first thing that Ahl Sunnah called Khawarij are those who split from the army of Sayyidina Ali in Siffin. Those are the first people we called Khawarij. So now after them, the reason they were called Khawarij is because they exited. Also because they were takfiris. Takfiri means they declared everyone else other than them kafir, mushrik. And this is radicalism, so that's the whole point. So when people say that these violent organizations are Khawarij, they mean they have Khariji fikr, Khariji thoughts or ideologies, which means what? Which means saying that the other person is not Muslim and therefore doesn't deserve to live. That's the essence. But I wouldn't want you, and again, that's an advice to myself and you, just to take one name and say that they're both. There are many people in Najd who were very pious people back then, and now their family of the Prophet ﷺ inhabited that area for a long time, still do, and etc. and etc. and etc. So I would like to caution from simplistic blanket judgment. Allah knows best.
Assalamu alaikum. A question from our brother Rizwan here. He wants me to ask a question. He said, Islam is a religion of peace. So why do we slaughter animals on Eid?
You're a Hanafi, so offering Qurbani is wajib. To us, the Shafi'iyya, it's not, it's Sunnah. So if you don't want to do it, don't do it.
Sometimes I get confused. We are against violence. When we are against violence and Qurbani and slaughtering animals for our hunger, how this can be justifiable?
I think he asked that question.
Yeah.
So if you feel that this is violence towards animals, I invite you to practice the fiqh. For example, in Shafi'i or other madhahib, where it says it's sunnah, you don't have to do it if you don't want to, inshallah, you'll be okay. Bismillah.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Muhammad Ali. I travel a lot and I take part in these lectures and workshops. And in these workshops, there are a lot of people from different religions that have a societal conversation about society at large and everything. And this question is usually put up to me that they understand the whole root of Islam being a peaceful religion, but when punishment comes to sins, for example, adultery is stoned, and violence is used for punishing people who commit sins. That's again a form of violence. So I do not know how to deal with that kind of a question. Like I totally agree to the punishment that in Sharia. I do not question that. But for an outsider, for a better understanding, how do I help?
So, like all Abrahamic faith systems, and there's always something that in the criminal justice system, punishments that somebody may view as cruel, locking you up for 25 years or 30 years for a little crime that someone does might be viewed as very cruel and inhumane. So this is a relative thing. What is viewed? Yes, surely there is a criminal justice system that Islam put in optimal conditions. And in optimal conditions, it means that in conditions that are fulfilled, etc., 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 etc. And then when you look at the time of the Prophet ﷺ and how often that was practiced, you take an actual understanding of how things were. And it made it so much, and to these things, example that you brought, it made Islam stipulated so many conditions that made it almost impossible to apply it. That's one. But it's there as a deterrent. But that's not only Islam. I mean, if you want to argue that point, you've got to argue the Old Testament, you've got to argue the New Testament, you've got to argue other also punishment systems that are in jails everywhere in the world today that could be considered inhumane. And so I think Islam put a system as a deterrent towards crime. And when it comes to actual sort of violence in the sense, or actual the criminal justice system, it stipulated such high conditions that are almost almost impossible to be met, and Allah knows best.
To Dr. Sheikh Sahab, but our friends here have organized a small token of our appreciation, which I would request Sayyid Ali Ashraf Jaisi Sahab to honor Sheikh with this token of appreciation. Will request Sheikh Dr. Muhammad Yahya to honor him on our behalf with a garland and the shawl. I request Sayyid Ali Ashraf Sahab to propose a vote of thanks.
قبل كل شيء أود أن أشكر الله سبحانه وتعالى الذي بتوفيقه نجحنا في عقد هذا المؤتمر الدولي وهذه الحفلة الدينية، فله الحمد والشكر والامتنان من أعماق قلبي. وبعد ذلك أتوجه بالشكر الجزيل إلى ضيفنا المبجل السيد الشريف الدكتور الداعية إلى الله على علم وبصيرة الشيخ محمد بن يحيى النينوي حفظه الله، فنشكره إسعادة النفس ونيابة عن الإخوة الذين قاموا بعقد هذه الحفلة، ولا سيما أذكرهم الأخ علي الدين الشرفي والأخ محسن ورفقائه الذين بذلوا جهودا جبارة لإنجاح هذه الحفلة الدينية، فأرجو من الله سبحانه وتعالى أن يوفقهم جميعا لما يحبه ويرضاه سبحانه وتعالى. मैं इन जिन लोगों ने, जिन भाइयों ने, मोहसिन, अलीमुद्दीन और मैं सबके नाम से वाकिफ नहीं हूँ, ये सारे चेहरे जो मेरे सामने नजर आ रहे हैं, दोस्तों बदलने की जरूरत है, सब कुछ बदल रहा है, सिर्फ अहले सुन्नत व जमात और उनके हिस्से के सिवा। हमें भी चाहिए कि हम ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा नफ़ा बख्श बनने के लिए बदलें। अल्लाह तबारक व तआला आपकी कोशिशों को कबूल फरमाए और इंशाअल्लाह मैं आपसे वादा करता हूँ कि हम एक ब्रिज बनाएंगे अरब और हिंदुस्तान के दरमियान, और इंशाअल्लाह लगातार कंटिन्यूअस जो है हम इसको एक्सपेंड करने की कोशिश करेंगे, अपनी फिक्र को, अपनी आइडियोलॉजी को, और अहले सुन्नत व जमात जो एक मुतदिल और मुतवस्सित जो ये आइडियोलॉजी है, अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह यही पूरे इस्लामिक वर्ल्ड में प्रिवेल करती है। बस जरूरी है कि थोड़ा सा दिल को कुशादा करें, थोड़ा सा दूसरे की सुनने की आदत डालें। हम लोग बिल्कुल वर्ल्ड में ट्रॉफी चला रहे हैं 50 साल से, हम दूसरों की भी सुने, उनको भी जो है हम एप्रिशिएट करने की कोशिश करें, और ये जान लीजिए कि इख्तिलाफ इंसानी तबीयत का हिस्सा है। अल्लाह तबारक व तआला इख्तिलाफ ज़बान और रंग और लौंग को जो है अपनी निशानी बताता है। थोड़ा सा इख्तिलाफ से आगे बढ़ने की कोशिश करें और एक बड़ी उम्मत के फॉर्मेशन में जो है हम अपना पॉजिटिव जो है अपना रोल निभाएं। मैं आप सभी लोगों का शुक्रगुजार हूँ जो यहाँ तशरीफ लाए, और ये हमारी दावत है कि इस आइडियोलॉजी को जो है जनरलाइज करने की, आम करने की, एक नया इंटरनेशनल रिश्ता बनाने की मैं आप सबका शुक्रगुजार हूँ। इस दावत को आम कीजिए, मोहब्बत की दावत को, उल्फत की दावत को, हम भाईचारगी की दावत को। अल्लाह तबारक व तआला आप सबको जज़ाए खैर अता फरमाए। और एक बार फिर मैं दिल की गहराइयों से अपने मेहमान मुकर्रम के साथ साथ भाई हमारे असद भाई हैं, ये काबिल शुक्र हैं, हैदराबाद के हैं, जो कनाडा में मुकीम हैं, जिन्होंने जो है इस प्रोग्राम को बाबा अमल और रूबा अमल लाने में जो है वो बुनियादी किरदार अदा किया है। अल्लाह तबारक व तआला इन्हें जज़ाए खैर दे। अगर ये ना होते तो हमारे इराकी शेख जैसे जलील क़द्र आलिम से मुलाकात ना होती, तो अल्लाह तबारक व तआला इनको इस बात के लिए जज़ा दे। बल्कि मैं इसे गुजारिश करूँगा कि शेख के और भी दौरे होने चाहिए और इसको इंशाअल्लाह तबारक व तआला नेक्स्ट ईयर मैं खुद कोशिश करूंगा कि मैं अपने कमांड में इस प्रोग्राम को लूँ और पूरे हिंदुस्तान में हम इस तसव्वुफ के, एहसान के और अहले मोहब्बत की इस आइडियोलॉजी को इंशाअल्लाह हम मुल्क के गोशे गोशे तक पहुँचाएंगे। बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया। अस्सलाम वालेकुम वरहमतुल्लाहि वबरकातुहू। और भाई हसन जो बुनियादी तौर पर शेख के मेज़बान हैं वो आपसे गुफ्तगू करना चाहते हैं।
Mr. Asaddin, who organized the entire tour of Sheikh, Hazrat Sheikh Sahib, would like to express his feelings. Before that, I would like to make an announcement. Immediately, at the end of the program, please allow the ladies to leave first by this entrance. Let the ladies leave by this entrance first. Gents, please stay back so that there is no scuffle at the gate. Okay?
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I'll be very brief. I'd like to thank Brother Mohsen. I'd like to thank our ulama, our organizers for this great opportunity and this great organization. One of the calls of Shaykh Ninowy is that we need to work more practically. He would like to see more application of knowledge at the centers of learning, whether it's at the university levels. We have to work. This tour is not meant to be a tour, but it's supposed to be a base for us to carry out the dawah throughout India. In regards to that, there's this book here. I would like to thank Brother Kaleem Sharma. I'd like to thank Mohsen. I'd like to thank the entire India team for organizing this event. They put countless hours, and I should not take credit for this. I was just one of the coordinators. In regards to this book is mostly about answering the questions about bid'ah, which has become very common and has become very much confused amongst the masses. This book is a very classical work, one of the best books I have ever read in my entire life. And alhamdulillah, I would urge everybody to get a copy before they go. Not only get this copy, but actually study it. Those, with that, inshallah, I'll conclude. We'll have a dua, and those who wanted to initiate themselves with the Shaykh, they can come to the back of the stage, and I'll ask everybody, inshallah, to leave. And we thank you once again. We're very humbled and very appreciative of all the efforts that were done. Jazakumullah.
وصحبه ومن سار على دربه ونسج على منوجه الى يوم الدين. اللهم ربنا تقبل منا انك انت السميع العليم وتب علينا انك انت التواب الرحيم. اللهم اجعل جمعنا هذا جمعا مرحوما واجعل تفرقنا من هذا المكان تفرقا معصوما. اللهم انا نسالك ونتوجه اليك بجلال وجهك الكريم وعظيم سلطانك القديم وباسمائك الحسنى وبحبيبك المصطفى عليه التحيه والثناء ان ترزقنا ايمانا كاملا ويقينا صادقا وقلبا خاشعا ولسانا ذاكرا وعلما نافعا كاملا وعملا صالحا مقبولا ورزقا حلالا طيبا واسعا وصحه تامه وشفاء كاملا عاجلا وتوبة قبل الموت وراحة عند الموت ومغفرة بعد الموت والفوز بالجنة وما يقربنا إليها من قول أو فعل أو أمل والنجاة من النار. اللهم ربنا يا مولانا والنجاة من النار. اللهم ارزقنا حبك وحب من يحبك وحب حبيبك صلى الله تعالى عليه وسلم. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين.
Also, I urge everybody in India to join the Shaykh Ninowy India tour page on Facebook. And those people who want to study in Medina Institute for the one-year course, the closest location that you can enroll in is in South Africa. As you know, we have campuses in South Africa, United States, Canada, and some other countries. Inshallah, we look forward to also establishing one in India. So those who want to study for the one-year program intensive, more than welcome to apply. Jazakumullah.
Thank you.